Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Judges Panel, where we have come to cast judgment upon each other and see which competitor is better than the rest, or who's going to be bested by the rest. All right, let's start with you, Noah. Noah, after the last judges panel, you seem to have, on the Zoom, we hadn't left the Zoom yet, you seem to have a very immediate reaction. Walk me through that reaction. What were you thinking and feeling in that moment?
I mean, Karen was my friend, so I was sad, and Karen was one person I didn't want to vote out. And just based on where the names were going, I wasn't in a position to like say another name, and I just based on things were going, I had to vote one way, and I feel like anyone would have done it for someone they considered a ride or die, or not a ride or die, but like one of the connections you could potentially have in life and in these games. So it wasn't personal. It was just in the moment, and I reflect and I process and I sleep.
Hmm.
And sleep helped.
Scott, Noah used the term ride or die, which is when you hear somebody talk about how they may have lost their ride or die, does that open up the door to say, okay, now Noah's a free agent? Or is Noah an easy next boot?
You're gonna hate my answer because it's not black or white. It depends on who you ask. Um, I mean, there's so many ways to play this game, and there is no right way. So, like, if you perceive that Noah is a free agent and you try to maximize that, that might work in your favor, or it might blow up in your face. If you think he's not a free agent, you say, "This is somebody I can vote off." What do you do if the vote is not that person? Then you've got to figure something else out. So I think with any person, whether it's a ride or die situation or just somebody you talk to a lot or not at all, like you don't know what's going to happen. So you have to approach it in the way that makes sense to you because that's all you can really do. I don't know if that answered. I always ask if that answered your question. I don't know why I do that.
I mean, it was an answer, and I did ask a question. So yes, that answered my question. They are open-ended. They're open-ended questions, so they're meant for you to extrapolate on. Alex, let's talk about you for a minute. You received 6.5 votes. You may be the only person in the history of Kaleidoscope now or ever to ever receive 6.5 votes. So tell me, when it's such a divisive split and you're the opposing side's target because you got the most votes, how do you build from there? Do you reach across the aisle, or do you feel like your back's against the wall tonight?
I mean, I mean, I don't know for sure what people are thinking tonight. I'm sure there's at least a couple people that in the back of their heads they might be thinking like, well, we didn't get him this time, maybe let's like try to get him last time. But like after the vote, like I talked to some people and some people sort of shared the sentiment of like, hey Alex, I voted for you because Jen says hi, by the way. I voted for you because I didn't want to vote for Karen, which like is fine because some of these people I haven't been on a tribe with before, and some of these people have been on a tribe with Karen for the entire time. So I'm trying not to hold too much of a grudge against it, but I also have to take that information and consider it at least a little bit.
Denton, Alex brings up that people were open and honest about voting for him. Well, open at least. I don't, cannot confirm nor deny the honesty factor, which is my question here. When his vote is so split, everybody starts claiming who they voted for, and you want to make sure that you're appeasing the right person. So, how much can you take stock and trust in whether or not people are telling the truth about where their vote fell?
Whenever people tell me they voted a certain way, I take it at face value because it's like I'm not going to go on some weird witch hunt to figure out who voted where. Now, if people in the game decide they want to say, "Oh, well, this person told me something different," it's like, well, that's you. That's not me. My conversation with this person went like this. And in fact, I think that, not necessarily you, but I feel like there might be folks that are trying to twist things to demonize people because once again, Topher, I'm just going to go on a little tangent here.
Mm-hmm.
And I am sober, so like this is not a drunken. One of my favorite words to use in these games is optics. And I knew after last round that if an occasion were to happen where another person from my swap tribe went home, that no matter what people say is actually going on, the optics wouldn't be great. And not only is that potentially going to happen tonight, but the only two names that were real tonight just happened to be from my swap tribe. So I feel like there was a lot of mess this round that, whether it was real or not, I feel like people kind of twisted things to push their own narrative. And that's frustrating. But to answer your question, yeah, whatever people tell me, I'm going to just believe it. And if it turns out they were lying to me, so what? It's a new round and we move.
So, Austin, is it safe to say that the decision is between two members of Denson's newly swapped tribe, or is that just, possibilities?
I mean, anything's a possibility, but I mean, if people are saying telling the truth, what they heard today, then I've heard probably the same thing. So there's a likelihood that could happen. Yeah.
Does anybody want to own up to their name being the name that's out there? Tyler and Noah. Okay, so it's between Tyler and Noah. Tyler, let's get to you. So in that situation, are you competing against Noah saying, hey, we should vote Noah out? Or do you try to see if there's any other option available? And, maybe the better question is, how did it end up being between you and Noah?
I was gonna say let's not jump to the future and let's go back to the past, because I think some of the questions that you've asked would help me kind of address everyone at once. Flat out, I just didn't tell Alex that I voted for Alex last round. That's how that went. What happened was that Josh and I had a conversation in sleepy stupor or something. Something came up where the confusion was made that I had said Karen as a vote. That didn't happen. I voted for Alex, full well knowing that I voted for Alex. Came clean, had conversations all day because all of a sudden people came up to me and said, Tyler, why are you lying about your vote? Where is this happening? And I said, let's back up and figure out the root of this. So I wanted to just address that head on with everybody because I have been honest, maybe not as open, right, with Alex as I could have been. I think that earlier when you said open and honest, the sentiments that I shared with Alex of I'm glad you're still here were true. But the openness of, hey, I voted for you wasn't there. So moving forward tonight, knowing that, Noah and I were here in this predicament, there was a conversation of who don't you talk to or who do you talk to the least? Renique and I have very different schedules and have not had the opportunity to hop on calls near as much as I think either of us would like in a game where social connection is important. So Renique, based on our timing, we hadn't had an opportunity. Quickly after, I found out that there was a push that said I was throwing Renique's name out as a secret third option for tonight. And I don't think that is true based on what I said. I said, hey, Renique and I haven't had an opportunity to talk. That does not co-sign as, hey, Renique and I are at odds and you all should vote against her and get her out tonight. She's not here to defend herself, and that's not a way that I play either. So want you all to know fully and transparently where I'm at tonight. The conversations that I've had today, 100% genuine, 100% honest with every single person. So I want you to take that for what it is when considering your vote tonight.
Noah, we'll bring it back to you because you also raised your hand, and don't worry, we'll still get to everybody. Noah, what What about you? Where do you stand on this? If it's between you and Tyler, are you finding yourself having to defend yourself? How did it end up like this?
I mean, I don't know. I love Tyler always. Everything I've said to the people that I've said is 100% true and genuine. For this round, like, and what I've said about conversations and what Tyler mentioned with the Renique thing, I was open and honest about. I didn't say Tyler was pushing that. I just said that was the name mentioned, and I also was open saying I didn't want to do that. So I was just transferring, I was just being open about the dialogue I was having with some people because some people were telling me that my name was out there. So I was trying to tell them. And in that case, I was just giving Renique, letting her know. So that's where I feel at that. And I don't think that changes anything. That's whatever's going to happen tonight is going to happen. And I just hope people know that I'm sincere with my words and I mean it. So yeah, I can just only go off that. And yeah, no stress.
One, do you find yourself having to decide whose story is more true, or is it more complex than that?
Honestly, I think it's a little bit of both. Like, yeah, you want to know like who's true, but also you also want to just make sure that even if they're true, you're taking the game into account, right? Because it can be a lie all they want to, but did its purpose get served? Like, if it was a lie, did the lie pay off? So yeah, it's a hard vote because again, this is All Stars. We all want to be here and we all deserve to be here. Obviously, we all played our seasons, and I just think this vote is just like I said last time. I won't say the start of the game, but after that first merge vote, you kind of the game kind of opens up and starts to actually unfold, and every vote's going to be hard, and this one doesn't show otherwise.
Jess, after such an impactful first merge boot, is this vote more of a fallout vote, or do you think this is setting something bigger in motion?
I think that it's probably a mix of both, which I feel like everybody keeps saying that. I think that what happens is a result of like what's happened in the past, like in these games always. But it's also like kind of a predictor of like what's going to happen in the future as well. I don't think it's either one way or the other though, because I feel like this vote has been like very chaotic, at least on my end, for the last like 2 hours. I haven't been on much today, but it's crazy. I don't really know what is at play here, honestly. I can't really tell like what's the full truth.
Jacob, you have every reason to feel comfortable tonight because you are insane. So with the immunity necklace, where do you like, does it help make this vote easier, or do you find yourself having a harder time because now that you're not an option, maybe people are being more truthful with you?
First off, no, I'm not insane. I didn't. I've told multiple people, like, I didn't think I was gonna win that. I studied for it. I'll admit, please. I'm not insane. I keep hearing that. Oh my gosh, Jacob, you did so good. Congratulations. Jacob, how'd you do it so fast? Jacob, can you father my babies? Like, I don't feel good with positive reinforcement as is. So I'm like, that's a lot. That's a lot to take in at once. But no, it doesn't. Me having immunity doesn't make it easier for me. Um, and I'll be vulnerable for a little bit, go on my own tangent. I just had to fill out some paperwork to get my new healthcare provider, get my new therapist going on because I'm on meds for stress, I'm on mood meds for sleep, I'm on meds for anxiety. I suffer from all of those, and these games are big contributors to all of those factors. And so I'm stressed whether I was safe during the pre-merge phase or not safe and having to go to tribal council. I think this has been a recurring theme that I hear for every vote I've been a part of. At least one or multiple people says, I don't like either option. I like both of these people. I get along with them. I enjoy our VCs together. And, you know, I'm a people pleaser. I hate letting people down. I hate the aspect of, oh, well, someone's going to have to be let down at some point. And nor am I somebody who likes to be particularly confrontational or particularly deceptive. So all these other elements that this game demands of you to encompass kind of has it so that you're going against a lot of the things that in real life you wouldn't have to worry about. You don't get to be your duplicitous self in real life, but in this game, you know, it's predicated off of lying, backstabbing, betrayal. Like some people may be more content with that than others and escaping from reality and playing this game as just Jacob the player. But many times throughout this game, Jacob the person has taken over. I was like, what in my heart makes sense? Like this last vote, two of my closest friends in the community were on the chopping block, and that shit sucked. I cried about it. I don't get emotional often, but and I wasn't able to confide with anybody about that. Like that was a inner struggle for me. And it's only gonna get harder the closer we get to the end because you want to win. You want to be the all-star that took down all the other all-stars on the way to the win. So yeah, no, me being immune or not does not make any decision I make easier. I have no more power than anyone else here. And in like 10 minutes, I'll be back to being immortal and back to being vulnerable again.
Josh, Jacob brings up some very valid points that in a lot of ways, we are all masochists for putting ourselves what we put ourselves through. But with that being said, I mean, it definitely, the conversations that take place in between the strategic votes, they have to all be real, right? Or is everything gameplay? I know that it's been said before that everything is game because it's game, not by you, but by somebody else. But it's still all, you know, it's how do you blend? Like you've got people that seem genuinely sad right now about the fact that they could possibly be voted out. Like, how do you reconcile that?
No, I mean, I think it's not just all game. I mean, I'm here for fun. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to play the game and be competitive, but I'm also here to enjoy myself, to meet people, to do, because Survivor wasn't intended to just be vote people out to just win the million. It was a social construct of like how people interact with each other. People bond, people fight, people will separate, all that type of stuff. So like I think nowadays people view it as just like a game to where it's like everything is all about the game. But I like to view it, and I still think it is like all about like the people too. So like I'm here to just have fun. But I think that like once tribal days happen, like I think that's when it kind of like turns up into gear where it's like, okay, we're all friends, but like none of us want to go. So I think like I don't think it's just all game. I think there's realness to it, which I appreciate.
You know, it's an interesting conundrum, isn't it? Right, where you know, just based off of what people say, like we feel for each other, right? We don't want to see anybody get voted out, but I mean, obviously, none of us are going to volunteer, say, "Hey, vote me out," because I'd rather not vote out my friend. You know, is it able to say with confidence that like hopefully even though this is an all-star game there may be hurt feelings along the way, but by the time we get to the end most of us are going to bond together in jury, so won't this be a good ruckus time that we're all going to celebrate? Nova? Oh, Nova's not even there. Does anybody else want to answer that, like speak in and just say, oh, there you are. No, Nova's not.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I think, yeah, most of us are going to be bonding in jury. And I think at the end of the day, when this game is over, most of us are not going to be holding it against each other. And I think at the end of the day, when this game is over, we're all going to have fun. But that doesn't make it less real in the moment. And that doesn't make it less difficult in the moment. Like, you can be riding a roller coaster and you know that the roller coaster is going to be fun. You know you're going to have had an awesome time when the roller coaster ends, but that doesn't make the act of going up the hill any less scary.
All right. Well, it's been an emotional judges panel. I'm glad everybody's like opening up. Again, there's too many of you for me to want to go back around again. However, we'll call this segment the burning desire. Does anybody have anything that they want to call somebody out or defend themselves or just have one last piece of say before we go to vote?
I think the only last thing I want to say is like the relationships that I have built with everyone are genuine and real. And so if I am the one to go tonight, like please know, like no hard feelings. I love you all dearly, but I really do want to stay. And I have been honest with everybody today about what exactly happened. So I that's the last plea I have is today was the real me. So whatever it is that's there, you got it.
I guess I'll say too, just like I love you, Tyler, and yeah, everything I've said and done this game where I've been voting, I've done and I've shown, and I just hope that you all do what's best for y'all in your games.
All right. Well, it sounds like it's going to either be Tyler or Noah. Maybe we'll have some surprise in there. We'll find out because I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to mute myself. And while I am away, you are not going to talk about this vote or the game, but you will do other stuff like give shout outs.
Shout out to Jeremy and Mikey and the dolls.
Shout out to Jennifer Ram. She's a real one.
Shout out to everyone's favorite, Heather.
I'm trying to watch Amazing Race.
That's right, we are. Screen. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, shout out to the
Hi,
nerd.
Heather. I love you.
Shout out to the D&D guys that are on Amazing Race right now. They're crushing it.
Oh, y'all thought I forgot? I don't know if my mic's working, but shout out to Chanel because she that girl.
And that's my cue to say shout out to Jackie from Padlock and also Montes.
So it's on record. I did it, and y'all know how to like fast forward, and you can like find me doing this. Shout out to Seb and Aaliyah. Love you both. Because Seb's not sitting through all of this. Let's be right.
He might. Kaleidoscope's entertaining.
True. I know Aaliyah would. I know Aaliyah's committed. Aaliyah will watch all. If this was an hour long, Aaliyah would watch it. Seb, I don't know.
Shout out to Timmy and Kit, aka Catboy. I love you both very much. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Oh, shout out to Jay and Lawrence in my prod chat. Always keeping things interesting.
But J1.
Yes, J1.
And who else?
And Lawrence.
And Lawrence.
Beehive?
Beehive?
Lawrence is iconic. I just love Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, I think we're talking about the same person.
I have the votes. If anybody has a hidden immunity item, tarot card, or other relevant advantage that they would like to play, now would be the time to do so. All right. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person with the most votes will be asked to leave the Zoom immediately. Before I read the votes, though, I do want to say thank you guys very much. This game is a huge outlet for me, and I know that everything that you guys are putting yourselves through is for the entertainment of others and for your own, you know, self-pleasure and all of that. So it's really important to me that you guys came together and like played this game. It's I think we take for granted the backstabbing that we do like in the contents of the game, that when like in real life somebody like truly backstabs you and like does like backstabs you with like salt and vinegar in the wound, like it fucking sucks. And I am so glad that I had this to come to tonight, because I got to like have fun with you guys and go deep and have a great time and you know, hang out and mess around. So thank you for playing this game and being here. I'm sorry for being a sap. It's been a rough one. So all right, now no longer about me, it's about you. I just wanted to save that for now instead of after the votes, because, you know, reactions. All right, read the votes. First vote. Tyler N. 1 vote, Tyler N. Tyler N. 2 votes, Tyler N. Noah. 2 votes, Tyler N. 1 vote, Noah. Noah. 2 votes, Tyler N. 2 votes, Noah. Noah. 3 votes, Noah. 2 votes, Tyler N. Tyler. 3 votes, Tyler. 3 votes, Noah. We're tied again. Tyler. 3 votes, Tyler. 4 votes, Noah. Tyler N. That's 5 votes, Tyler N. 3 votes, Noah. Tyler. 6 votes, Tyler. 3 votes, Noah. The next player to be bested by the competition and the first Olympian to compete against Karen in the Coliseum Redemption is Tyler N. Tyler N., you may now speak your piece, and then you've got to leave the Zoom because you got a competition to get to.
Let me just say, I'm not done yet. And there's a group of people in the middle who, if y'all band together, you got some options. I wasn't fully dead tonight. So I'll see y'all soon, hopefully.
Bye, Tyler. All right. So Tyler N., he's going to go compete in the Coliseum, an Olympic-sized Coliseum, if you will, against Karen, while the rest of you are going to be teaming up. That's right. It is our Kaleidoscope Classic. Instead of it being 5-on-5, it is going to be 6-on-6. You're going to be randomly divided. Half of you will win immunity and the other half will not, but all of you will still vote. So may the odds forever be in your favor, and get your egg. It's going to be raw, a raw egg, not hard boiled, but raw, and a spoon, and meet me tomorrow for some fun and games. Oh, also, if you cannot receive an egg or get an egg or have issues with eggs because eggs, please let us know. We're there for you. All right. So that's all I've got for you. We will do some randomization a little bit later off of the Zoom. So that way you can then decide on a time. It will be semi-live. So you will decide with your group when you would like to compete. So that's all I've got. Stop the recording.